One of the charges under which Benjamin Netanyahu was charged by the International Court of Justice was using starvation as a weapon of war. Looking at Gaza as of today, there is no doubt in the entire world about that charge is absolutely correct, not just against Netanyahu, but also about the Israeli right-wing leadership. So let's talk about it. The question for me morally is, why do I keep speaking about this? And I think it's a question for all of us. There is not much people like us can do. There is no power that we have that can stop this starvation of the Palestinian people. But I think we owe the world, we owe the Palestinians and largely humanity itself, at least our words, wherever something atrocious is being done. So when Hamas killed civilians and took hostages, people like me and so many others obviously condemned it as an immoral act. And now, as Israel is starving the people of Palestine, especially people of Gaza, it is our ethical and moral responsibility to speak about it and to continue speaking about it, to put it on record, so that tomorrow, when history looks back at this atrocity, and it will, when historians write about it or people talk about it, we could at least say that there were some voices all over the world that opposed what is being done. And I want my voice to be included in that, as a scholar, as a human being. And I think it is important for all of us to remember that we may not be able to do anything materially, but adding our voice for the cause of justice and peace is equally as important. So that's why I keep talking about it. Now, for the past 10 weeks, Israel has not allowed much aid into Gaza, which means people are starving. United Nations has already declared that Gaza is very close to being in a famine-like condition. This is an artificially created famine. There is no lack of supply of food from the world, even from the United Nations, but it is the delivery of aid which is being hindered. And we are clear now Israel is using hunger as a stratagem of war, because in one of the cabinet meetings, a few right-wing ministers from Netanyahu's cabinet were not opposed to starving children and civilians to gain their military ends. There is no doubt about that. Right now, in this world of wealth and opulence and plenty, millions of Gazans are starving, children, women, the elderly. And they are starving because there is an embargo on food that can be delivered to them. So it's not just a political question, it is a moral question for us to answer, for us to address and constantly raise. What is United States going to do about it? What is Europe going to do about it? And what are the rich Muslim countries that surround Palestine and Israel? What are they going to do about it? what looks like it is that everyone is involved in their domestic issues. Here in United States, we have reached a point where if you speak with the Palestinian people, you can be whisked away, you can be arrested. Your words, even your thoughts, are seen as a threat to the US foreign policy. So I would dare to ask, what is the US foreign policy that 2.3 or 2.5 million people who have been displaced multiple times should starve right in front of our eyes? And if that is our foreign policy, then who are we as people, as a nation, as the most powerful nation in the world? These are the questions that we must address, because if United States is the kind of power for which it is okay to allow one of its allies to starve people to death to gain their political ends and their military advantages, then I think we have a bigger problem, and that the problem is about American identity and American message to the world as the beacon of hope and democracy, and all these slogans that we teach our children and throw around in our movies and TV shows. So at stake is our very humanity. Humanity of the world, but humanity of the powers that claim to be the civilized powers of the world. The global south has already declared that what Israel is doing is atrocious and crimes against humanity. The global south is in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Now, there is a difference between the Palestinian people and Hamas. Hamas is a militant terroristic organization. Palestinian people are the people who live in Gaza or in West Bank. These are the people who were ousted from their lands from what is current-day state of Israel. They moved, they left in 1948, and this is where they camped. That's why Gaza became a refugee camp. Go read your history. So overall, it saddens me as a human being. Makes me feel powerless. And there isn't much I can do materially. So that's why I say this over and over again, that what Israel is doing in Gaza to the civilians, to the children, to the women and the elderly, the starvation of them, the destruction of their lives, is a crime against humanity. And I would like history to remember this. And I would like to see, even beyond my own death, right, that when it was time to speak out against this atrocity, when it was time to put our voices on record, that I did that, not for my personal satisfaction, but just as a human being living in this world, looking around, seeing injustice, and then saying this is wrong. So the starvation of the Palestinian people through the policies of right-wing Israeli government is a crime against humanity as defined, is immoral, unethical, and is something terribly tragic and wrong. And let us remember that, and let us keep speaking against it. That's all. Thank you so much. Stay safe. My love to people of Gaza and to the Palestinian people. My hope that all the hostages are released and both sides, Israel and Palestine, find a long-term, peaceful, dignified solution to the conflict. Thank you, and peace and love.